everyone. Thank you for joining us today on CSUSB 10 tips on how to complete your admissions application. My name is Brenda Machuca, and I'm an admissions counselor here at the Palm Desert campus, but I also assist students wanting to apply to our San Bernardino campus. And with me here is my colleague.
Hi everyone, my name is Alejandra Quintero, and I am also an admissions counselor and recruiter for the Office of Admissions at Cal State San Bernardino, and I'm also located at the Palm Desert campus. But as Brenda mentioned, we do serve both students that want to go to the Palm Desert campus or the San Bernardino campus. Welcome.
Thank you, Alejandra. So with that said, let's go ahead and start. Let's go ahead and dig in. So our first tip to complete your admissions application is honestly just to keep maximizing your high school experience, meaning keep taking those honors and AP classes, keep those grades up. We do highly encourage you to keep participating in clubs and organizations. If you're able to participate in sports, go ahead and keep doing that because as established before, this year, the CSU will be looking at extracurricular activities for admissions decisions. So continue to do that, continue to maintain your grades and simply maximizing those grades, your high school experience. If you apply to CSUSB already, you might have already started receiving admissions decisions. But if you did, those are conditional decisions, meaning that we are still going to verify all of the information that you entered on your application. So keep up those grades, still continue doing community service if you can, clubs if you are able to really maximize your high school experience. So that's our tip number one, maximize your high school experience.
And tip number two, it will be extra activities or extracurricular activities. So like Brenda mentioned, this year looks a little bit different than before because we're not using test scores. So instead of using test scores, we're using a multi-factor score to evaluate your admissions decision. So this is where it comes really handy when you are as once again, maximizing everything that a high school has to offer, but as well, if apart from what it is on your high school, maybe you're part of a club, maybe you're part of an internship where you're doing volunteering hours or community service. It's important for you to list those on your application because we will take those in consideration to determine your admissions decision.
Admissions application is actually still open for fall of 2021. CSUSB did extend their admissions deadline for fall of 21 to February 1st. So students who have not submitted their admissions application are still able to submit that application up until February 1st. Our tip number three is ask questions. Here at CSUSB, we do have admissions counselors like Alejandra and myself that are available to answer any of your admissions questions. Our job is to help you through the admissions process. So don't be shy, don't be embarrassed to ask questions. Right now, because we, the whole COVID situation, we are working remotely. So email is the best and fastest way of getting a hold of us. However, if you do need an appointment or to ask any questions or you need a phone call, let us know. Send us a quick email, ask any of your questions. We are here to help. There's no dumb questions, like they say. We're here to answer anything. We know that a lot of our students are first generation college students, which means that they are the first ones in their family. Like Alejandra and myself, we're both first generation college students. So we know that there are a lot of questions out there. Don't feel lost. Please let us help you through this process. So please, here at CSUSB or at any other CSU, ask questions. If you have questions in regards to your admissions process, let us know. We are here to help.
Tip number four, it's enter your correct information on the admissions application. So if you have not yet submitted your application, you want to make sure you enter the correct information. And this is important because this is how we're gonna do your profile, and that's how we're going to identify you, right? So if there's something wrong on your application, then your application might be rejected, and that's gonna be delaying the process of admissions. So it's important for you when you're filling up your application to have your transcripts in front of you and the correct financial information from if you're dependent from your parents and if you're independent from you. As well as to enter coursework clearly and carefully. and enter your name correctly. The admissions application is also tied in with your financial aid application, so that's why it's important for you to provide exactly how it's on your documents. If you don't know exactly what your social security number is, or how, maybe like myself, I have two names but I always use Alejandra, I never use my middle name, but I still have it, right? So it's in my social, so you want to make sure you have it as how it is. So that is really important. If you have already submitted your application, you can log in back and just make sure you have everything correct, just to verify that it is correct. If you have already entered your submitted your application and you see something wrong, please contact the financial institution that you have applied for. Don't correct anything on your application yet, because then that will also delay the application process. So just if you have something wrong on your application that you notice after submitting it, just contact one of us, if it's at CSUSB or any admissions office at the institution or the university that you apply for, and let them know, so that way they can make those corrections on the back end. And that's tip number 4.
And you would be surprised how many students we get every single year that type in that name incorrectly. We usually have around 3 or 4 who are reaching out to us, Alejandra or myself, panicking because their financial aid package doesn't match up with their admissions package. But make sure, like Alejandra mentioned, that name is exactly how it is listed on your social security number, because that's the information we are asking you for. Like in Alejandra's case, she has a middle name that she doesn't frequently use. And so, but she makes sure that she lists both on those applications. So make sure, I can't stress this enough, to make sure those names match. And I'm only stressing it out because every single year I have 3 or 4 students on that same boat. Tip number 5, which is meet all of the admissions deadline. So CSUSB is an impacted CSU. And so what that means is that we need you to meet all of those admissions deadlines to make sure that your admissions process continues as smoothly as possible. We will let you know what all of those deadlines are, because we are going to be either notifying you through email, posting those on our website, social media sites, or sending you emails. So when you fill out that application, you will start receiving emails from CSUSB, and we will be notifying you of any deadlines coming up, whether it be submitting transcripts, submitting extra documentation that we might need to finalize your application, whatever that document might be. Please check your emails. Please check your to-do list, because we will be notifying you of upcoming deadlines. Alejandra and myself do have each an Instagram account, and we're going to share that handle with you towards the end. And we do post those deadlines on our social media accounts. So if you want that extra reminder, we highly encourage you to follow us on Instagram. You can also follow our Facebook pages. We don't have a Facebook page individually, but the university does. And we usually also post those dates and deadlines on there as well. But please meet all of your deadlines. The next one coming up for some students, not all, is your transcript deadline. After that, it can be your confirmation deposit deadline. So just to play it safe, check your email, check your to-do list, just to stay up to date with those.
6, it's submit your financial aid application. You don't want to submit your admissions and you have an admissions decision and you've been admitted and without financial aid, right? Because then how are you going to pay for college? So the deadline, it is March 2nd for both the FAFSA and the California DREAM Act. So the FAFSA is for any U.S. citizens and residents of California, and the DREAM Act application is for any California residents that are under the AB 540 guidelines, okay? So please make sure you submit your financial aid application on time. Verified if there's any documents that you have to provide to the institution, and you do that by monitoring your to-do list. And your to-do list is an icon on your student center that you will have access to once you apply and once you activate that, right? So once you roughly once you submit your application after 2 weeks or so, you will get a notification email. So have access to the email that you provide on the application. The school is going to send you that email and letting you know, please activate your student portal, which in this case is called My Coyote. That's how we call them in CSUSB. So you will activate that along with your student email. Once you do that, you're gonna monitor that daily, like Brenda mentioned. Under that tab, under to-dos, there you can see if there's any verifications. Verifications can be from financial aid and it can be from admissions. So you wanna make sure, and we can't emphasize that enough, because sometimes the students come in and say, hey, I haven't received my financial aid, I don't have a financial aid award. That's because maybe you have some verifications that you still have to submit. So just make sure you enter your, submit your financial aid on time and verification documents on time as well, if needed.
Tip number 7, just real quick because we're running out of time, because we have so many great tips and tricks. Like Alejandra mentioned, is check that Coyote portal, check that student portal, that student email at least once a week. This is how we are going to communicate with you once you have applied to the university. The first initial email is going to be letting you know, saying, hey, this is your Coyote ID number, this is your student ID number, this is your student email. With that information, you're going to be able to activate that student portal. Make sure to activate that student portal and check it once a week. Each institution that you apply to is going to be issuing you a student ID number and an email portal. Please go ahead and keep those in a safe place. Check those frequently, because this is how we're communicating with you. So we can't stress it enough. Check the portal, check that to-do list. When you submit documents in, this is how you will also know if we have received it, because it will be taken off of your to-do list. So that is another way that you can verify that we have received transcripts or any document.
Tip number 8, once you have already, done all the paperwork, it is important for you to do a campus tour. Why it is important? Because you want to make sure you are visiting the campus. I know this year looks a little different, but we're still providing virtual campus tours for both campuses, the San Bernardino campus and the Palm Desert campus. Why we actually advise students to do that, or applicants or future applicants to do that, so you can have the sense of feeling if you belong to that campus, to make sure you see yourself there, right? And you're feeling, okay, yeah, I actually do this. So even though we're virtual, we're still offered them, so take advantage of those, okay?
Next tip that we highly encourage you to do is to attend any campus events. Especially for those of you who have already applied to CSUSB, we will be having a number of yield events, meaning events that will help you complete the process of the application. So a couple of the ones that we have coming up are Coyotes Next Steps and Coyotes Connect. Both of those programs, both of those sessions will help you pretty much complete the application process. You will be able to also meet different departments, meet your program faculty, learn more about the opportunities that you will have available here at CSUSB as a student. And it will just be an incredible experience for you. So whatever institution you decide to attend, if you want to come to CSUSB, remember February 1st is the deadline. Attend those yield events coming up. That way you can complete that application process, that admissions process smoothly.
And tip number 10 and the last one, because we're running out of time, get to know your campus resources and programs. That is so important, because you will not know how impactful knowing what your resources are to actually help you complete your education. Not only getting you admitted in the institution, but as well, because it's not only about getting you in the institution, it's also getting to the final thing. That's our goal as an admissions counselor, is not only for you to get started, but also seeing you complete your education. So at CSUSB, we offer many resources, such as we have a DEN, we have the Career Center, we have undocumented research centers. I'm going really fast because we're running out of time, but one in particular there is really I would like you to know is the EOP program. The EOP program, it is really important. It is special in this time of your application process, because they are the only ones that could do what we call, what's it called, Brenda? Special admissions. Yes. And special admissions. What that meaning is if you're really close to, getting all your A through G's or all the minimum requirements for admissions, but you're missing something, or you're working towards during the summer, or something that it hasn't fulfilled all the minimum requirements. If you qualify under the EOP guidelines, they can take you in and say, hey, we're going to take you in our program, and you're going to be interested in special admissions. And not only that, but they also offer many resources for students, and they have great opportunities such as mentorship. They have even a scholarship for first-time freshmen. So take advantage of the resources that they are on the institutions. And most CSUs, if not all CSUs, have programs like this. So make sure you are getting familiar with those by research. The best friend that you have right now for your campus, it will be their website. So research that website, enter to that website, see what the institution has to offer. Really do research on the college that you're applying for or the major that you're seeking, so that way you get familiarized, because right now we are virtually, so it's kind of different than going and ask in person, but the website has tons of information for you.
And with that said, thank you very much for joining us for the top 10 insider tips to completing your admissions application at CSUSB. Remember, if you haven't submitted your application, or if you have friends or family that have not submitted that admissions application, they have up until February 1st to submit their application. We will be having an application workshop January 29th from 2 to 4 p.m. to assist any students that had not submitted that application. So if you have trouble, if the students get stuck, come join our application workshop. We will be there available to help you with that process. Also, Alejandra and I will be hosting open office hours every Friday, starting this Friday up until the end of May, between the hours of 1 to 3. You can drop by. We have those links on our social media accounts. So if you follow us at Yodi_Brenda or Yodi_Alejandra, you will be able to see those links on our link trees. You can click on there every Friday, again, from 1 to 3. Ask us any of your admissions questions. No appointments needed. We will be collecting a few information from you before you join in, but after that, you can just pop on in and we'll be able to answer any of your questions as needed. But again, thank you very much for joining us.